In this video I'm going to explain a little more about working with additional modified tools. As you work on a project, some additional tools on the Modified tab here in the Modify panel, these ones here, can help you with placing, modifying and constraining elements. The Align, which I've touched on briefly in a different video, can be used with a variety of elements, while the Split, this one here, Split element, the Trim and Offset, these ones here, can only be used with linear elements. That means only items that are in a straight line. So we'll just talk over the alignment element again, which is this one here. As we can see, we've got a ceiling grid, ceiling tile here, a supply grill, and we can move it around accordingly, and we can try and best guess where we want to put it, and to some degree you'll get it close enough. I mentioned to you briefly about using your arrow keys to nudge it, and depending on how close you are will depend on how much it nudges. But also you can use the alignment tool. So clicking on the alignment tool, first off click on the object that we want to move our item to, such as this line here, and then we click on the item that we want moving, and then this one, and then that one, and that's how we can quickly snap. Now if you notice, when we move this, such as this, we get a padlock symbol here. If we click on this to lock it, what it would mean is that if either the ceiling grid moves, such as this ceiling grid, or our item, this supply grill, moves, then it will bring the other one with it. Now obviously this isn't going to work too well if we want to move this supply grill, but if the architect comes back with a different grid, this will always align to this line. This grill will always align to this line if we lock it. But we tend not to lock them. There's no real need for locking them. Now continuing on with the alignment, we don't have to just pick one at a time. We can do multiple alignments. So if we click on the Align, over here we have, in the options box, we have a multiple alignment. So if we click on this, what we can do is if we pick our line, and then we can pick all of these items that's going to align to that grid. I'll just undo that because I'll explain that if we align without this, all these need to be done manually. It won't recognize the command. It only does it once without that multi option. Also you can align things based on against something. So say for example we want to align this grill. Align. In the prefer here we can say wall center lines, wall faces, center of core, faces of core. So we can align to either the edge of the wall or the center of the wall, depending on what we wish to use. Okay, now let's look at the split linear elements, which is this one here. If we want to split this duct here, all we need to do is go up and click on Split Elements. Click on the duct, and as you can see a line's appeared there, and just escape out of it. And now you can see that this duct is separate from this duct. If I undo that to show that it was one single duct to begin with, and then with the split, the line gets put in, and now we have two separate ducts. What we can do now is we can move these out like this. Now, what if we want to split the duct but delete the inner section? So what we do is we highlight the duct, click on split, but we click on this box here, delete inner segment. So what we do now is we would click the first one, but we're still halfway in the command, and we click the second one, and now it automatically deletes that center section of the duct. If we just go back a step and we do it without that selected, and we try and put a split in it this way, all it's done is put the split in, but it leaves the duct in the center in place. Okay, now let's look at trimming and extending. There are three trim extend methods that you can use with the linear elements. The trim and extend to corner, the trim extend single element, or the trim and extend multiple elements. So if we've got this duct here and this duct, and we want to trim them together, we select the trim to corner, because we want to make a corner out of these. Select that one, and it joins it on and puts the relevant fitting in place. That's all the trim to corner is. Now if we want to trim and extend a single piece, so what we want to do is we're going to have these three pieces join up to this one, but we'll do one at a time. So we'll use the single one first. So we select the trim and extend single element. We choose the item that we want it to go to first, just like what we did with the align. We need to choose what we go to first, and then we click on our second point, and you can see it extend and put in the correct fitting in. If we want to do both of these now as a multi rather than do it as a single, we can just do it automatically with the multiple command. And what we do here is, again, we select our final piece that we want to, but we draw a box around, because we're going from right to left, it's items that are within the box and pass through it, not just anything within there. And then we have both of them together. Now I'll just briefly talk to you about the offset command here. So if we've got a duct such as this here, let's just add in an extra piece of duct. Such as this. And we want to follow this, we want an offset by a certain set distance. So in the modify, we're going to choose this offset. Now at the moment it's set to either graphical or numerical. We're leaving it as numerical, and we're going to use this distance. Its default is 1000, we're going to change that to 500. Again, we've got a copy box, which means that it will copy the original rather than deleting the original. Now if we come in from above, you might not see it briefly because of this wall here, but there's a faint blue line just appearing roughly about here. If we approach from below, you can see it's a lot clearer in this particular view, where the blue line is showing there. So if we go around this outside of this particular length here, we just click on the top, the right hand side, and you can see it automatically joins, and the top there and again it automatically joins, and they're all at 500 mil distance apart from one another.